Hello Year 6, soon to be Year 7. I am so looking forward to working with you and all your fantastic teachers next year and welcome you in August to Year 7 at Head Start. From what I know of you already, from sometimes teaching you, sometimes looking at you in your lessons, seeing you in assembly, I know that you're a year group full of the most amazing gifts. And with the rest of the team in secondary, we hope to develop those gifts further and with your support and help have an amazing secondary career ahead of you. I look forward to welcoming you in August. Have a great holiday and see you soon.
Hello Year 6, my name is Mr. Pace. I may well be presently teaching some of your older brothers and sisters. So my new role for this year is Key Stage 3 Coordinator, and I will be overseeing the well-being of Key Stage 3. And in really simple terms, that means ensuring that all of you, I guess, thrive academically, socially, in a safe environment.
Hello Year 6, I'm Miss Keynes, and next year I'm going to be taking over Mr. Barker's job as Deputy Head Pastoral in secondary. So although maybe on a day-to-day basis you'll probably see a lot more of Mr. Pace than me, my job is really to oversee that everything is going really well for you, if there's something special that you want to do or if there's a problem that you would like me to solve, I would be the person that you could come and talk to about that, and I'll be catching up with all of you at some point next year.
Hi Year 6, as Miss Keynes said, I'm Mr. Barker and she's taken over from me as I'm moving on. You're in capable hands with Mr. Pace and Miss Keynes. I'm here so that I can help answer some of the questions that you've passed on to us. So we're going to go into our hats in a minute and answer your questions.
Yes, as new graduates from Year 6 into Year 7, we've got our symbolic graduation caps. And you all did a really good job of talking about and writing down the questions that you wanted to know about secondary, so we're going to have a go at answering some of those questions.
Tough questions.
Then we'll volunteer to go first.
Shall I go first?
You go first, Mr. Pace.
Okay, so the first question, a very good question indeed. How much writing is in English? Well, I am an English teacher as well. I'm going to say there's a little bit more writing, I would imagine, than what you presently do, perhaps in Year 6. There's lots of opportunity to do extended writing pieces, whether that's writing stories, whether that's writing non-fiction, so letters, articles, all of that good stuff. But certainly if you're a little bit worried about what you're going to be doing lessons in terms of the length of things, please do not worry. There's lots of fun things, and I'm sure you'll enjoy something.
Keen English student there. Right, I'm gonna do one because I'm already fiddling with mine because I'm so excited to find out what I'm answering. Right, okay. A basic question, but a good question. How long are the lessons? So lessons in secondary are all an hour long. In reality, because obviously what's new this year is that you'll be moving between classrooms for each different lesson. So sometimes we might finish the lesson maybe a couple of minutes early so you've got time to get to your next class. But the timetable has hour-long lessons on it for every subject. Nothing is different, is it? So 1 hour you have to be able to concentrate and be good for.
Okay, find a question here. Let's try this one. Will we use laptops every day? And we've also got here gaming zone, which you may not be aware of. So, will you use laptops every day? It is very likely in many of your lessons you will need the laptop for some part of a task. You may not need it for the entirety of the lesson, but it may be for a research task, accessing something off Google Classroom, especially after we've been online learning. So yeah, please make sure you bring your laptop every day. You will have your locker, so you'll be able to store it in there and then go and collect it from your locker as required by your teachers. We've also added to this question, in secondary we have the gaming zone. So after school, if you don't have an NSP, you'll be able to go into the canteen and you'll be able to use an open Wi-Fi in there, high speed, courtesy of Mr. Jason, and you'll be able to play suitable age-appropriate games after school. So that's something new for you in Year 6.
Yeah.
Going to Year 7.
I'm sure that will we be using a laptop every day. I'm sure that is the reality of that question.
Okay, so my next question is also a very good one. Will we have new teachers? I guess that's the biggest difference, primary school compared to secondary school, is that you have a different teacher for each of your subjects. Of course, you will have the same homeroom teacher, which you will see every morning, so that will be really nice for you. But in terms of your core subjects and any other subjects you'll be doing, you will have a different teacher. But you'll get used to them, it'll be fine.
Yeah, they won't be new for very long, will they?
Well, there you go.
Right. What does this one say? Right, okay. This question's a little bit difficult to answer, so I'm not going to give a very complicated answer. Someone has asked, how many lessons do we have for each subject? So it depends on the subject. So for some subjects you have quite a lot of lessons. So for languages, for example, you might have 5 hours a week of languages. For English, I think it's 4 hours. So for subjects like that, English and maths, core subjects, you will have 4 or 5 hours per week. But for other subjects, you might have a smaller number of lessons a week. So for example, if you're doing history or geography or art, you might only have 1 hour a week in those subjects, because obviously we've only got 6 hours in a day and more than 6 subjects to teach. So what we'll do during orientation at the start of term is we'll give you your timetable and you'll be able to see exactly there, but the answer is depends.
Okay, another one from me. Great question. Do we get 3 lessons to catch up on work? Very simple answer. No, you don't get any 3 lessons in year 7. However, the homeworks that are set are suitable in terms of length and frequency for your age group. So you will not be bombarded with lots of homework filling up every evening of your week. So you should be able to get everything you need to do done after school.
Yeah, and if you're not able to finish work from a class, I think it would be a good idea to talk to your teacher about that. And if you didn't want to do that, you could talk to Mr. Pace or me, and we could look into why it was that you needed to catch up. But you shouldn't need to be doing any extra work other than what's set.
Seek help if you need it. People are here to help.
Okay, so the next question is, do we have a homeroom? Kind of touched upon that already. Yes, you will have homeroom every single morning for 10 minutes. You'll also have a PSHE session. Not sure what day that will land, but yeah, obviously because of the timetable. But yeah, you'll see your homeroom teacher every single morning for 10 minutes, and your homeroom teacher might ask you to read, you might go through some important information that you need for the week. So yes to that question.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Oh, obviously some academic geniuses coming up. What are the new subjects will we be doing, and are we going to have chemistry? I don't know whether that's something that you want or don't want to have, right? I'm not sure. Yeah, so basically there will be some new subjects. Some of them you might have done a little bit before, maybe in art. So obviously we have art and design technology that you might have touched on a little bit as part of your lessons. But yeah, probably the biggest difference that you will have will be in science. There'll be a lot more science lessons. So you will do all 3 sciences in year 7, so biology and chemistry and physics. They will be taught as separate subjects, but you will have the same teacher for them. So your science teacher will be the person that you have in all your science lessons, but during those lessons you'll do a bit of biology, a bit of chemistry and a bit of physics, and they'll make it very clear. Someone else has asked, do we use the labs? Yes, in science you will be using the labs, there will be practical work. So hopefully that's something that's exciting. And then the only other thing I think that would be really different for year 7 that they haven't done already is active learning. So 3 mornings a week. This year, year 7, 8 and 9 have been able to choose something like active or creative or exciting. So some people have been doing cooking, some people will be doing sports, some people will be doing dance, some people will be doing makeup, and so that I think is quite a new and exciting thing. But you'll get to choose from the programme at the start of next year when you're in year 7. So that will be you, yes.
What have we got next? An IT teacher question. Is it better to have a Mac or a Windows laptop? So for parents,
Controversial question.
they do not need a Mac. Students, you do not need a Mac. For everything you do in school, a Windows computer, a fairly basic laptop will be suffice. A lot of what you'll do is on Google Drive, Google platform, and using an internet browser. You won't be doing any graphical editing that you require specifically a Mac. You'll be able to use school computers for things that you need it for. On top of that, laptops, bring them to school, make sure that you look after them. Mr. Pace is not going to want to be running around looking for laptops where people have misplaced them. So use your lockers. I know you've had them in year 6. Keep your laptop safe. But yes, you do not need to have a Mac computer. If you are a Mac user and wish to have one, that's entirely up to you. But as a school, we do not say that you need a
You
Mac
can use
computer.
either, yeah?
Yeah.
Use either, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And as a side note, just make sure they are charged or you
Oh,
come to
yeah.
class with your charger, because that was quite a big problem last year with many students. So
Having a laptop on 1% battery, not super helpful.
And if-
Only a little bit better than not having a laptop at all. So
And if it breaks, let your homeroom teacher know. Sometimes technology does go wrong, as we know from working online, but please make sure you inform your homeroom teacher, get your parents to email them, and then they can contact your other subject teachers.
okay, so what after school clubs are there? Gosh, many. There are boosters, which your core teachers will enrol you on, but there are also lots of extracurricular activities, rugby, running club, football, chess.
Programming,
I mean,
World
this-
Scholars Cup.
Scholars Cup.
The list is
World Scholars
endless.
Cup, yeah.
There really is something for everyone, and I'm sure something is going to happen during the first week to promote those. It usually does so.
Yeah, the list changes
Yeah.
every term, not even just every year. So there'll be a whole new list, and you'll be able to sign up using Engage.
Yeah.
So a letter will go home. Is that a difference? I think in as soon as you get to secondary, the students themselves sign up rather than parents.
Yes, so if you've been enrolled in a booster, that will automatically be populated for you. But say you're enrolled in a booster on a Monday, you could choose your own ASPs on Tuesday and Thursday from the list. So yeah, you will be able to do that via your Engage portal, which you'll learn all about in your early ICT lessons with your teacher, and you'll be made familiar with how to access that and sign up. So yeah, that is new.
Yeah, that is different. What was it big? How much homework will we get?
Not enough.
Yeah, not as much as you might think. Okay, so when you're in year 7, 8, and 9, you have 1 hour of homework a week for maths and English and science. So that's 3 hours over the week. And currently the rule is that we don't get set homework on Fridays, so that's nice. So if you're really busy during the week, you can enjoy the weekend. But between Monday and Thursday, you will have 3 hours work to do. For people who are doing first languages like Thai or Russian, there is also homework on top of that, okay? But that's only for people who are doing first languages, and it still shouldn't be much more than that, but you might have an extra hour or 2 of homework on top of that. So it will probably, for some people it might be an hour a night, but for some people it won't even be that much. And obviously you can do homework at the weekends if you like, so it shouldn't feel like it's too much, I hope, she says.
Or is it?
Maybe,
Oh, that's a long question.
Oh, it is.
That's the answer that I discovered.
Okay, do we have to get new PE uniforms? So yes.
Yes.
Well, yes. You should get a white shirt and blue shorts. So it's good to get that probably when you return after the summer, in case you've had a big growth spurt. I wouldn't worry about buying that right before the end of the term. And there will be a bit of leeway, a bit of flexibility at the start of the year If you come back late, say to school, or your arrival is delayed, you'll be able to get that PE kit when you arrive. So yes, you do need to get a new PE shirt and shorts in secondary.
Yeah, you can, but if you don't have it for the first lesson, you won't be in trouble,
No.
but eventually you will need to have it.
Okay, so do we need to bring our own snacks? I mean, the short answer is no, but you can if you want to. There's certainly not going to be sort of snacks given out at break time. Remember, lunches are as normal. I guess a good thing about starting Year 7 is that you can use a cafe during break times and lunch times, so no restrictions there. But I mean, if you want to bring your own healthy snacks, that's completely up to you.
Yeah, but they're not provided, are they? Like
Not
they are
provided.
yeah. So if you do like to snack, you've got to bring them or buy them from the cafe. Right. What does this question say? Okay. How many lessons will we have in one day? 6.
6, except on Friday.
Except on Friday, where you will have 5 and an assembly. A nice easy one.
That is, yeah.
I
That's
gave
easy.
myself an easy question.
Okay. How will we be divided up into class? So, in your homerooms, your Year 6 teachers will be working with Mr. Pace and Miss Keynes to create new homerooms for you as you come up into secondary. So they'll take into account friendships, lots of different factors. So your Year 6 teachers know you right now better than we did. So it's really important that they have a really big say in how those groups are created. Obviously, when you come up into secondary, it's important for us to shake things up a little bit, mix up the homerooms. But we don't just do that randomly. So that will be taking place very soon, and you will find out your new homerooms on orientation day in August. In certain subjects in secondary, you'll be mixed up and not taught in your homerooms anyway. In things like active learning, you'll be with people that have chosen the same activity, not necessarily your classmates. So your classes, although you'll be in your homeroom, and maybe in homerooms for subjects like history and geography, you may not be in your homeroom for other subjects.
Yeah.
But that's how we pick homerooms. Okay, we communicate with your Year 6 teachers.
Yeah. How would you for questions? How many have we got?
I am finished, so.
I've got 2 more
Okay.
after this one. Could we see a map of the different classes? Yes, you know, that information will certainly be shared during orientation day. I imagine there will be something going on in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, people to show you around the school. I will be around, Miss Keynes will be around, etc. So please do not worry if you feel a little bit overwhelmed. You know, you're not going to get lost, but all of that information will be provided. Do you want to add anything?
No, I think that's fine. In an ordinary year, obviously we would have already met you all and said hello to you and shown you around secondary, but we'll just do that later on. So we'll give you a map and you'll have a chance to have a bit of an explore later on. Right, I'll do this one. Right, this is another really good question. Is the work more difficult? Someone has said they think it might be more scary. Hopefully it will be more difficult because we want it to be more difficult, otherwise we wouldn't be going through the years and getting older. And so, you know, you might expect in some subjects that it will be a bit more challenging, but I think it shouldn't be so difficult that it's scary. I think that's the best way of saying that. So, you know, some things might be a bit more tricky, but hopefully you'll be excited that you can feel like you're making progress and doing more challenging things and not feel scared by how difficult it is.
Okay, I've got 2 more. Are we finished, guys? So, will we have a prom? Yes, you will have a celebration of sorts to look at all of what you've achieved during Year 7.
Yes.
That'll be in term 3.
Term 3, yeah. Be happy.
You'll have something.
Pretty much in a year's time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Right.
And the last one is, will we need to carry everything in our bag for the whole day? I mean, you're going to have a locker. Do we recommend you know, carrying a really heavy backpack on your back all day? Absolutely not. That's why you have lockers. Keep your laptop in your locker. Obviously, keep the books that you need for your lessons in your bag. It worries me when I see these students with these, you know, backpacks sort of weighing them down. So
bag the same size as
Yeah, you know, just be sensible. You need to, you know, look out for yourself physically, emotionally, etc. Keep everything in your locker as much as you can, really. So
Yeah.
Visit your locker at break time to empty out the books
Yeah.
you've used, collect the books that you need, and then head off into your lessons. Don't go to your locker between lessons though, but it's important, as Mr. Pace said there, balance out your backpack. We do not want heavy backpacks
Yeah.
on students around school.
The biggest number of lessons that you'll have in a go is 2.
2, that's right.
So
yeah,
what we would suggest is having what you need for those 2 lessons in your bag, and then, like Mr. Barker said, use the breaks as an opportunity to go back and swap out
yeah.
stuff that you are going to need.
It's just about getting into that routine, isn't it? Just being a bit more responsible, I think, as you sort of transition from year 6 to year 7, and that's no doubt what, you know, your teachers are going to try and encourage, being a little bit more responsible, being a bit more grown up.
Yeah.
I think.
Right.
Are we good?
So well done year 6. They were really, really good questions.
Very good.
And hopefully we've been able to answer all of them. Obviously, if you have more questions, you'll have an opportunity to talk to us on orientation day at the start of the new academic year. And then we will be expecting lots of questions, certainly for the first term when you're here. So don't worry if you feel like you don't know it all or you're still nervous about some things. That's going to be our job to make sure that we can answer any of your questions or help you if there's anything that you feel isn't going right. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to meeting you all, and I think it would be really good to see everyone in August.
Absolutely.
Okay?
Excellent. I wish you all the best year 6 going into year 7. I won't be here, but good luck.
Okay?
See you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.